Today I'm at Palm Mortuary on Boulder Highway, and this is Henderson, Nevada. If you look out this direction, that's Las Vegas. You may remember the TV series called Vegas. It ran on ABC from 1978 to 1981. It was produced by Aaron Spelling, and I know everybody's heard of that name because it has great network shows. The series, it was, well, you know, with just a couple of exceptions, it was filmed entirely in Las Vegas. I think I remember one episode was filmed in Hawaii. Many times they would film at night because we're in the middle of the Mojave Desert, and it gets very, very hot. Especially 3 or 4 months a year. In fact, today, it's 118 degrees. Binge. I wonder if that's a Johnny Bench family. Not likely, they're all from Oklahoma. The show starred Robert Urich, Private Detective Dan Tana. If you remember in the show, he drove around in a, I think it's a 1957 Ford Thunderbird, red convertible, sharp car. Always liked the car. He'd work on numerous cases as a private eye. He would help solve criminal cases, bust, casino scams, and overall making Las Vegas a safer place for both tourists and people who live here. Which is good because I've lived here 40 years, but I know it's just a show. The show ran in syndication in the 1980s. Well, look at this. Thunderbirds. Must be an Air Force gentleman. One of the characters was Beatrice Travis. It was played by Phyllis Davis, and this is who we're actually here to see today. She was Dan Tana's Girl Friday. She also moonlighted as a Las Vegas showgirl. She definitely had the looks for it. Hopefully you catch that. We're close to McCarran Airport. Beatrice Travis had the signature line, "Earn some money, honey," to motivate Dan Tana to get back to work. And here she is. Phyllis Davis, July 17th, 1940. And she died September 27th, 2013. Generous of heart, in God's care. Very attractive. She went by, even though her middle name is Ann, her birth name, she went by Phyllis Elizabeth Davis because she admired Elizabeth Taylor. Phyllis was born in Texas. Growing up, she lived with her parents, and they own a mortuary business, which is inside their home. So they lived on the second floor. She recalls that when there was a funeral service, they had to be very, very quiet. So you can just imagine. Later in life, she worked as a flight attendant for Continental Airlines. And by the way, have you ever seen an ugly flight attendant? I haven't. She moved to Los Angeles in 1965. And while living in LA, she attended acting classes at the Pasadena Playhouse. Her first acting appearance was in 1969. The movie was called The Big Bounce. She played in Beyond the Valley of the Dolls in 1970. She also did Fantasy Island and many other guest appearances. I remember her last movie she did was Guns, and this was in 1990. She also played in Match Game, and you can catch some old reruns on YouTube. I loved her chipper, pleasant personality, and this comes out if you watch the Match Game reruns. You know, for some reason, there just wasn't much fanfare when she died, but maybe the family wanted all this to be low-key. Interesting to me, she never married, and I'm sure she had many chances easily. But she did have a long-term relationship with Dean Martin, and this is in the 1970s. Phyllis died of cancer at age 73, and she lived in Henderson, and that's where we're at now, just outside Las Vegas. While we're here, Milton Bowers was one of my favorite policyholders. Had him insured for 30 years. And I actually came to the service. In fact, the last time I was here at this location was for his service. And his ashes are interned here. So I just want to pay him some respect.